Hey folks, welcome to The Compound, your one-stop shop for all thing gaming, miniatures, and soon-to-be video gaming, coming at you from New Bedford, Massachusetts, usually live. In this case, this is pre-recorded, pre-edited content to help us with our transition over to the YouTube.
That's right.
Obviously, PAX East is a huge thing for us here at the compound.
Oh, absolutely.
PAX East 2023 just happened. And we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about our experience, the things that stuck out to us. Following that, we're going to take you through kind of a guided tour.
It's pretty much going to be our highs, lows, and overall experience of this year's PAX.
So, I mean, first and foremost, we've been to every PAX since 2016.
Yes.
Pandemic hit, obviously. It had hit and shut down Massachusetts just days after PAX 2020.
Yes.
2021 was all digital. 2022, last year, was our first foray back into PAX East.
Which I have to say this year was a lot bigger. Everyone really came in almost full force in this time around, which, let's face it, last year's PAX was very bare compared how it usually is.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, Chops. I will say that for the difference, there has also been a transition in the overall sentiment at the floor.
No, I agree.
And, you know, obviously, we did have Nintendo, but we lacked Sony and Microsoft. We did have a huge, very important panel from Square Enix, but we lacked a big Square Enix booth.
I admit I was a little disappointed that Square Enix was there, but they really didn't have like a merch booth or beat the boss challenge. It was just them promoting the new Final Fantasy game, which we're going to get into a little later, and just doing like a little photo gallery booth is all they really had this year. Which, it was nice. You still get to win some prizes, posters, but I do miss doing the whole demos with the TCG game, which we always loved doing that. They always gave away...
That was always our scheduled downtime. We would always pre-schedule a demo for Final Fantasy. That way we could sit down, we could take a load off of our feet from the concrete floors.
Yes.
They always gave, which I think is what you were alluding to, they always gave great, promos and sleeves and all kinds of things.
They would give you at least, and it wasn't just like one promo card. They gave you at least, 3 sets of maybe like a couple of promo cards?
Oh, no, it was a play set.
Yes. I meant like 3 promo cards, but they gave you a play set each.
Yeah.
But it was still amazing. And they had their other games, like the little, I can't remember the other one.
Was Cacti?
Yes, Cacti, the Cacti one. That was still a fun game.
No, and like I said, I mean, for me, the other big notables, and what really pulled me in, 2016 being my first PAX, was a big year when Twitch was there. And being able to see the big cameras, everything going on, and experience that, made PAX a mainstay for me.
Yes.
Even last year, like, we had something of that, we had Discord there. Now this year, you didn't see Discord.
We also did have Twitch last year as well.
Brawlhalla was a big, lack of presence. It wasn't there at all. But in all of these areas, you've seen someone kind of step up.
Yeah. Kickstarter did something that I didn't think they would do. Well, they always do a little scavenger hunt where you had to go take pictures of stuff, hashtag stuff, but this time they actually had a giant scavenger hunt where, if I'm not mistaken, James, it was over 20 stamps you had to collect.
It was 20 stamps. You had to go to the physical booth. Every booth had a unique stamp. So you really couldn't,
You mean like cheat your way like I know someone tried to?
It happens. Like, who has time to be going to 20 different booths when you have an itinerary for each day?
We do.
Not I, says
we
the
have
fly.
time. We have time.
I didn't end up actually getting the opportunity to get the scavenger pin just because there was just too much going on.
No.
But I really
You are
enjoyed
right.
this Kickstarter booth. I really wish they went back to the days of old, where it was that separate room and you got to either play games with the developers or sit down for panels.
I do feel like I think it was actually good they actually had a presence on the show floor, because if I remember correctly, they really never have a presence on the show floor. It was just them in their own little separate thing, which, not gonna lie, people do sometimes forget. But it was nice they were on the floor. They did have a couple of Kickstarters that they did have on there. I can't for the life of me remember them, but it was good seeing them. And the scavenger hunt really did push people to go to other little indie games and actually check them out, which I think that was a huge plus for them.
I think it was the right choice.
Yes.
It just wasn't the right choice for me. Kind of moving from Kickstarter, Focus Entertainment was there. Now, if we recall, last year Focus Entertainment's big product was the Assassin's Creed statue and limited edition set. This particular year, they brought a plethora of items, including...
They brought a lot of their limited edition pre-order statues.
And you just said the word that makes me really not care for Focus Entertainment.
That is a little bit of a downside, but I get why they did it. It did stink that you couldn't order them while they were there. There were no freebies you could take besides little poster cards, which were nice. I'm not going to lie.
Cool.
It was nice.
They were definitely cool.
They were showing off the new bolt gun game, but I can't remember if they were showing off Warhammer 40K.
They did not.
They did not?
Bolt Gun
Okay.
was the premier title.
Which was nice.
At the Focus Entertainment booth. And I mean, it was always packed. You know, again, my issue here is you bring...
you bring all these goodies.
You bring Space Marine, the Collector's Edition statue. You bring a Plague's Tale, the limited edition statue. You bring a series of limited edition pins. You have all of these items in a glass case. Not a damn one can I walk away with.
Well, I admit it does suck when you bring something and you can't buy it, or you can't even pre-order right there. Like, if I'm not mistaken, when you said, could I pre-order it right now? They said, sure, just go to our website, which didn't make sense.
It was very frustrating. Again, I'm going to say for individuals out there who want to know or were on the fence, the Space Marine 2 limited edition statue...
It looks beautiful.
...is everything you anticipate and more.
The worst thing is, I thought this would be small. No, this was pretty big.
This was a very sizable statue. The gaunt in his hands, probably the size of a softball?
I want to say it was at least, maybe between a little less than 10 inches?
In height, yes. I would say that.
But that's also him holding the giant chainsword. Which, I'm not going to lie, I would love to own that, but...
With a $250 price tag and not having the security of being able to pick up and check it, it's not something I'm going to pay to have shipped.
Again, I really wish I could have just pre-ordered it through GameStop. At least I could put half the money down and then pay the other half when it comes out. Because as of now, there's no real solid release date, as far as I know.
We'll be showing you this statue a little bit later inside of this video. VR. Now, VR had a very large presence.
A lot. Like half of the indie games actually brought a whole bunch of VRs, which I was actually really shocked. VR is really starting to move up.
Well, if you remember correctly, I think it was 2020. 2020, because 2021 was the year that they didn't have. And 2020, if you don't recall, even like Tracy stood in line for some of these, because I think she did the Star Trek.
I think that was 2019.
Was that 2019? I can remember the start of VR having a presence, because she was really adamant she wanted to try that.
Yeah, because they had that what was it again? They had this VR game where you're almost a god, you're combining animal warriors and all that. I cannot remember the name of it, but I think Nordic was involved on it.
We'll check that out and see if we can't get that into the comments below.
Yeah. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave it in the comments.
So, Devolver Digital had a nice, healthy presence kind of in the center of the showroom floor.
Oh, they had a great display.
I know that, obviously, Cult of the Lamb had its own facing. It was a big thing.
Especially where they did release the YouTube video of the... I guess it would be sort of like an animated gameplay, which, I'm not going to lie, it was funny as hell.
No, then you had Terra Nil, hadn't launched yet, but that was obviously another big property at Devolver Digital. For me, Devolver Digital was a Sunday stop-by, in which I managed to get a couple last copies of some games.
Yes.
Which I was kind of happy about. I think I missed out on a vinyl, but Devolver Digital always brings it.
They also are well known to bringing like even stuff that was like a couple years ago back there, which is actually surprising. Like, really nice.
No. So the Intel booth.
Always. They're really starting to take a bigger and bigger presence every time we go.
What about the swag bags?
Okay, so unfortunately they weren't doing big swag bags. But you can go through some of the booth. They did have things you could try, things you could do to get actual pins. And when you collect all the pins, you are actually able to win certain prizes. But the best thing about Intel is they actually had a game that's very near and dear to your heart, James.
They did have Street Fighter. They had a nice display. You'll see that a little bit later in the video. But they had a nice setup for Street Fighter 6. Little insider information. We were informed, I think that was Friday night, we had dinner with a couple of industry insiders, and we were informed that this wasn't even the current build. This was an early alpha build that they brought to PAX East.
Which was still nice.
Which still looked beautiful. And if that's where they started and they still had a long way to go, I can imagine what the finished product's going to be. I'm looking forward to June.
Same here.
Getting that in-house and getting some actual, vidya tournaments.
I'm not going to lie. The posters they had for just even the posters they had off to the side, I would have loved to get a copy of those. They were beautiful.
No, absolutely. I think the Yuri looked pretty sick.
Oh, yeah. That's my girl.
The Guile looked pretty legit. Dead Island 2.
It was a very fun game. It still reminded me I was playing the first Dead Island, but the combat seemed a little bit more smoother, if that makes any sense to you guys. It felt a little bit faster. And I'm not going to lie, they actually had carnival games there where you could actually play for prizes.
Well, I know that Tracy had went over there and demoed this with you. Because she had won some prizes. But I think my big takeaway from this is Dead Island 2 really looks an awful lot like Dead Island 1. It doesn't have that next-gen console polish.
It doesn't have like that new engine or anything
but
like that.
I kind of feel like from everything I took away from that is what it lacked in visual polish, it seems to have gained in gameplay.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a very positive thing for Dead Island 2. Let's say fans of Shredder's Revenge last year, although not by the same designers, you had retroware with
Toxic Crusader, which I really thought it was the same guys who did Shredder's Revenge.
I mean, it has that visual aesthetic just like it.
But unfortunately, I wasn't able to play it. The lines again for this one was always capped, always long, but it did look really nice.
I did get me some toxic ooze.
You got some ooze?
I did get some ooze. I got a couple canisters of ooze.
Wait, no.
Lovely, Chops.
No,
lovely.
No. I was going to say that's more turtles then.
But no, they did. They had little canisters.
No, I know. I saw the little ooze canisters.
The toxic ooze. Gigabyte. Now, Gigabyte has seemed to had a bigger and bigger and bigger presence over the years, and this year was no different.
They actually also had the Street Fighter, James.
Gigabyte, or what is it, Oros is I guess how they pronounce it. So Oros, that is where I actually sat down. And unfortunately, folks, if you want to see that painful footage, you're going to have to become a patron because I don't think we're releasing that outside of the Patreon. But I did get an opportunity to sit down and to play some Street Fighter 6 at the Gigabyte booth.
So, James, you did so bad that you need to get paid to make sure people know you suck.
Oh, it's not even that. Like, if you really hone in on the footage and watch both of our hands, this dude was in my head, like, right out the gate. Because you watch me go through all the motions, and he countered it before I even started.
Wow.
The kid was sick. Like, hats off, kudos to the person that I played against. My dude was nasty.
I know Intel was doing the whole, they were actually keeping track of someone. Last time I saw him, he had 22 victories straight.
Yeah.
Which, this wasn't the same guy, was it?
No, at the Gigabyte booth, when we walked away, we as in myself, Duff, and Zach, I believe he was like on his 15th or 16th victory.
Wow.
And that was the point at which we walked away. The kid was really good. And he wasn't, like a one character pony. Like, he started off with, I want to say, Ryu, and then
so he was at least switching characters.
He tightened me up with Chun-Li.
Oh, that's a character you definitely want to be tight with.
I'm just saying, like, I took a beat in there.
But
the biggest addition,
it would have to be Pokemon. Pokemon Labs. Oh my God. There wasn't a day that went by that this line wasn't completely full. Me and our friend Duff literally had to sprint every time we went over there. The line was just packed. It was ridiculous. Which, again, Nintendo had a giant presence there. Now, since Microsoft and Sony aren't really going to be coming down as much. But, Jesus, I cannot specify how much time people just waited in line just to play games, just to get the LE pin. And they were also giving away exclusive decks, which the decks were really nice. They did 3 games with you, which was just insane.
Oh, the pin was sick. Thank you for getting me one.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm still keeping it.
From what I was told, the deck itself is the only way to get a non-foil VMAX card.
That's correct. So
those are pretty highly sought after as well. Again, we had some friends that were working the booth there. I'm obviously not a Pokemon fan necessarily.
Pokemon, say it right.
But what a presence! Like, what a presence!
From opening till closing, we did not ever see that empty.
Oh, never. And and they were fantastic with getting people in and out. Because you got to figure, they must have had 40 or 50 slots for people to come in. So you could do waves of 50 at a time.
Actually, the max they could do was 60.
Really? That's a healthy amount of people.
And they were just... Anyone who says they were new to Pokemon, they threw them a little bit where the trainers did. But anyone who is already like, hey, who's played? Card game. Oh, you in? All right, go. No. All right, gone. Next one. It literally looked like there was just a rave going, go.
No, they were definitely efficient, if nothing else. Now, this is one of the titles that you had thrown on that stood out to you.
Yes.
But before I get into this, I can only say that out of everything I've seen and everything that we saw over the course of the con, this was the highest profile title to me that had the most lackluster presence.
Yes.
And that would be the Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Yes. This game has been in development for a while, I want to say. But, again, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan. I still like the shows. I still like the movies. Definitely like the Rings of Power. Hey-oh. But this just seems... It's pretty much Gollum's experience in Mordor. Him trying to escape, trying to find the one ring again. I wasn't really able to play. I was just mostly watching other people play. It does look fun, I'm not going to lie, but it looks more of a stealth-based mission.
Well, that's what it is. It's by the Daedalic Entertainment, and that is exactly what it is. Is you're in a quest to retrieve his presence, his precious, and it all comes down to who's going to gain the upper hand. Is it going to be Schmeagol, or is it going to be Gollum? And this is a purely stealth-based game. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I think die-hard Lord of the Rings fans are going to find something in this.
I agree.
But I don't know that this is going to be approachable for a wider audience.
No, I agree, because this is more of a stealth / you gotta set traps off just to hurt people.
Absolutely.
Which, it could work.
Skybound Games. Again, you'll see this a little bit later inside of the tour video.
That was another big presence.
The fact that they had an actual full-size wrestling ring in there.
That was nice.
And live wrestling. I think they had live wrestling scheduled for 3 out of the 4 days.
2.
Was it only 2?
2 days, but I think one of them was a double time.
Was a doubleheader?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, the presentation was top-notch. The pins were really cool. We ended up getting some pins from there. We did catch one of the wrestling matches. I believe it was a ladies' match.
Yeah, it was 2 ladies, yes.
And, I mean, that was
really nice.
cool to watch,
It was actually really nice. They actually did get the blood capsules, which I really thought I enjoyed. They really did go over the top, which, hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, they certainly committed.
No, they did.
Something you've been fangirling over and it hasn't
God.
stopped, and we're gonna get back into this because he's gonna talk more during the our following video. It's Gigabash.
Hey.
Chops, take it away.
All right, Gigabash is a kaiju brawl game, which it's the guys that from Epic Games. Like a little partnership with Epic Games. I can't remember if it was.
So Epic Games turned around and had given them a budget. So
yes,
it's a Malaysian-based or designed game. The creators of Gigabash have an arrangement with Epic Games. Epic Games has helped funding the creation of the game.
Yes, which. These guys, right off the bat, these guys were super nice.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember when we went to go see them, what was it, Thursday? Their booth was a little empty. I'm not going to lie, it was a little empty. But I saw some of their merchandise. These guys are big kaiju fans just like I am. They had 4 kaijus out of the Toho presentations, which was Godzilla, Kiryu, Mechagodzilla 3, Destroyer, and Gigan. As well as their own unique kaiju that they actually create, which I really love. It felt like I was playing a Godzilla, Ultraman, and Gamera game. Like, it felt like I was playing Super Smash Bros. Kaiju Edition. That's the best way I could describe this game.
And this was one of your bucket items.
Yes.
Before PAX launch, like Gigabash was one of the items that you had on your must-see list.
I had to. They literally went all out. They actually had a bundle deal, which you cannot say no to.
No, you got a playmat.
It was $85. They gave you a playmat that was designed by Matt Frank, the guy who's done tons of Godzilla work, Gamera work. You name it, he did it. Came with a computer playmat, 2 folders with their own kaiju design, as well as 4 patches and 4 pins. And that's not the best thing. They gave you a digital copy of the game.
I mean, and the big thing that should be noted here, that's $85 got you all that. Most of the booths were charging $20 to $30 per pin.
Yes.
So just the pins alone justified the cost of getting everything.
The game alone, it's about $20 to $30 online, which you couldn't really argue with that. Plus the computer mats. Most computer mats cost roughly $45. And like right there is like, wow, you're actually getting your money's worth. Which, a big shout out to you guys. I completely love your game. I cannot wait for it to come out on Xbox. Unfortunately, right now it's only on Steam.
No,
Steam.
It's not Steam. It's the Epic Game Store.
You sure? I got it for Steam though.
Well, it's not showing up for me on Steam.
Well, anyways,
it's $34.99 currently on the Epic Game Store.
Which, hey, plus the computer mat. Look at that. That's already the cost right there.
Yeah, that's right there. Then you're basically getting patches, folders, and pins for free.
So I bought 2 bundle deals.
Is anybody surprised by this?
I love anything with kaiju.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure we'll be talking about that more as this goes. So Inti Creates was another. So this particular booth.
This booth is always at PAX, which I always love going to play their games. And they're all pretty much on Switch right now.
Well, that was the thing, is they brought a series of Japanese exclusive Switch titles over, which were playable on American hardware. And if I do not recall correctly, everything had a dub.
Yes.
So the Japanese games with English dub for the American hardware Switch. I was a little upset at the fact that I was a little bit late to this party. Saturday is kind of when I had made my way over there, and their con exclusive bundle had already sold out.
Yes, I think that sold out day 1.
I'm pretty sure. So I had kind of stepped back. I didn't end up picking anything up. One of the compound boots on the ground, Duff, had bought, I think, 2 or 3 titles throughout the con.
Yes.
So.
And there's one questionable one. But we'll get into that one.
Yeah, that's for another date and another time.
That's going to be on Patreon. Hey, maybe we should just put that on Patreon. Maybe we should play that.
We could.
Because let's face it, I don't want to say anything because it's literally...
Don't say nothing.
All right.
Just walk away. Berserk Games.
Oh, I love Berserk Games.
So, Berserk Games was kind of something I myself really didn't know about, but they... were Just Shapes and Beats, which is a chaotic co-op musical bullet hell based in 3 simple things: avoid shapes, move to the kick-ass beats, and die repeatedly.
It's called Miss. You just have to dodge all the gunfire, but it is really good. Their mixtapes are really, really on point. My favorite would have to be with the Mortal Kombat just comes in, and you just have a whole bunch of guys doing karate kicks, and you gotta dodge them all.
Nice.
It was really good.
Again, we got some of that in the following video footage, which was pretty cool. Dread XP. Now, Dread XP.
Oh yes.
Our first time meeting the Dread XP folks was last year. We negotiated a fantastic deal for a full set of their posters,
which are lovely.
And you actually met the designer for Sucker for Love,
and he was there this year too.
And I actually didn't see him. I was actually looking out for him.
Huh.
But I didn't catch him. You had him autograph all of your prints last year.
Yes, I did. We got pretty lucky. What was it? 4 prints. They had one they didn't want to sell, but you were lucky. Were able to talk him down a bit. Say, hey, he's willing to throw money at you. And apparently throwing money makes everyone do anything.
My negotiating skills were on full display, and there was no way you weren't leaving up without that full set.
Oh, no.
So we did what we had to do. We got you your set.
I still need to buy frames for those. And then I bought another 4 posters because they had a new DLC for a game I fell in love with, Sucker for Love.
Big time, too. You went in deep.
I always do.
Before we go into our kind of tour with voiceover, I think the biggest mainstream entity, the biggest AAA entity, would have been the Final Fantasy 16 panel.
The panel was beautiful.
This panel was so out of control that an hour before the panel, you sent me a picture of the queue line, and the queue line had dominated the entire hallway and around the corner up in front of the panel room.
So I'm going to say this right now. If you guys have been to the Boston Convention Center, it was in the main lobby where the line started and went all the way around the corner, all the way to the end of the building, and then doubled back.
Yeah, it
was a big line.
From what I was told, by the time the last people in the queue line made it into the room, they were already 15 minutes deep into
Yes, that was
the actual panel.
That was a downside, which was really nice. The panel was beautiful. We had Yoshida and Fox pretty much explaining the whole gameplay, the whole entire aspects. I'm going to say this, it looks beautiful. For once the PlayStation did right.
Well, keep in mind, the PlayStation does have an exclusivity clause.
It does.
I'm not sure if it's 12 months, 18 months, or 2 years, but Sony will have this initially, and just like Final Fantasy VII Remake, it'll come out on the other platforms later.
Yes.
Although if memory doesn't serve me correct, they have announced that there will be a PC release.
Good.
For Final Fantasy 16. I'm not sure if that's day and date of the PlayStation 5, but I think that much, if I'm not correct, in the original State of Play when they announced it, it had a PS5 and a PC logo.
I believe so.
And then after the fact, the PC logo disappeared. And then they had spoken about it coming back and the fact that it was going to get a PC launch.
Yes.
Again, just not sure if that's day or date.
But the gameplay for the new Final Fantasy was beautiful. Honestly, I'm going to say this. They did something to where you can now play it with just one hand, which was ridiculous. I felt like it's a little kind of cheating for hardcore games.
Well, no, that could be a great accessibility thing.
Well, no, they also added a couple of things where you could tell that someone is playing it on easy mode during live stream events, which I thought, okay, so I could call them out on this, which was nice. But again, they were talking about how they're not and are still a turn-based RPG, which I'm going to say it's not. 16 is not.
So this is going back to the action RPG style of the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah, pretty much. This is a hack and slash Monster Hunter kind of feel to it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to lie, this is probably the first Final Fantasy I will buy, not just steal off of you.
Nice. So, folks, at this point, we're going to... You got a few...
I got one more. The cool thing about this one is that you can actually transform into a monster, and you're actually able to gain other powers when defeating monsters. It's actually really nice. You kind of look like a werewolf T-Rex. Nice. So it does look nice, but let's go on to the next thing.
So basically at this point, we're going to begin to take you on our guided tour. So as you can see here in the footage right now that's just popped up for you, we are now ascending into the showroom floor. So this is kind of the bird's eye view as we're coming in the main entrance and coming down into the showroom, about to take everything in. All the footage you're going to catch through this is taken throughout the 4 days. So you're going to see a varying amount of people each day. But again, there's a lot to take in here, but it's not egregiously packed.
No.
Which was nice. Kickstarter was always something that was near and dear to my heart. I used to love their separate room. They started having it out on the showroom floor. As we talked about before, you did have your scavenger hunt. I really would like to see it go back to the days of old.
Or at least, or do both. Or do both would be nice.
I mean, there's plenty of space. I mean, they use every square inch of this convention hall, but it would be nice for them to go back to that.
Focus Entertainment, James.
You know, this is actually the salesperson right here, this lady right here that I had actually spoken with, and she's the one who crushed my hope and dreams.
Oh, damn, look at that!
that statue is like legit. I can't even, the footage doesn't do
It doesn't do it
any
justice.
justice. The Plague's Tale statue there as
Oh, they
well.
were giving out hats?
The hats were actually over at the, not Grubhub, what was it?
Oh, DoorDash.
Those were DoorDash hats.
I can't believe they didn't do anything for actual Dashers, only for people who have the DoorDash app.
Yeah, no, like I said, those were, I think you had to get the app and go over, and they gave you a personalized hat.
And T-shirt.
Peaky Blinders, again, something that's got a popularity to it, but, you know, we didn't talk about it just because it just didn't hit the mark. Popularity-wise, top-notch. Execution-wise, left much to be desired. Again, just kind of taking it all in. A few seconds ago, we passed Devolver Digital. I think we saw the Cult of the Lamb side, which was, as you could tell, was really neat.
It was pretty packed there, too.
So, as everyone knows, this is kind of like that center section where the divide, and that's generally always wide open, so the lack of congestion is transcendable. We're coming over here. This is the Intel booth. Those are the posters that you spoke about earlier.
I really wish we could buy those. And a Dance Dance Revolution they actually had.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, I wish you played
that
it,
dude's
James.
getting taken to school. Like, he's getting torn up. But every year I say I'm going to play DDR, I've just yet to get the self-confidence there to get up there and rock out.
James, if a 500-pound man can do it, you can do it.
Beautiful. But like I said, the Intel booth is always, you know, that's that Intel money, you know? They come out, they bring it every single year. As you can see here this year, there was a lot more presents for like customized PCs.
They were actually doing a contest. There was you had to like wear a certain shirt they gave out, and you would actually win $1,000. I didn't win.
That's really cool. I didn't even realize that. Corsair. So Corsair, I believe, was one of the booths that Zach from the Nerdly News on Wednesdays wanted to check out. We went over there. Everything I wanted I couldn't buy. Was very unhappy about that.
We got a little bit of shots of Dead Island 2, which I still found it fun.
Like I said, Undisputed, which we just passed there, was something we didn't really talk a lot about. That's going to be something we're going to have to focus in on another show. But it's something we should definitely look back on because the Undisputed did look really, really, really good. Again, I went into this with a list of goals and games to play.
We also didn't really try Outcast as well. That was another thing that was really packed.
Well, again, you had a series of titles that were just very, very challenging. THQ Nordic, what a missed opportunity not bringing AEW. We'll get into stuff that they did bring in a little bit. This is the Toxic Crusaders. Like I said, it has that Shredder's Revenge
feeling,
look and vibe to it. I'm really surprised it wasn't made by the same creators. I wonder if there's an inspiration there that kind of drove those decisions. There's the booth where you got all your merch weekend long.
Oh yeah.
But they had a great show, a great showing here.
I've been tempted just to buy that statue. It actually is on sale.
They're selling that?
Yeah. No, not that big one. They actually sell like a little miniature one.
Oh, I mean, that thing is sick. I had a ton of footage. We're not using all of it here, but that statue was nuts. Kind of just, again, taking you guys for the stroll here. Of all the places, I spent way more than I should have.
And you could see the Pokemon line was just getting bigger and bigger every time. As soon as one person left, 5 more people went in there.
And there's Nintendo, lacking.
We're not, James.
Gollum.
Yep.
Looking at Gollum.
We're looking at Gollum, which I'm not going to lie, that poster does look nice.
Like I said, to me, it was the biggest, title with the most lackluster showing.
Now, Skybound, though, did pretty well.
Like I said, Skybound really brought it by bringing in this wrestling ring. I think they really went to the next level. Not sure if we get the
No.
PAX. We didn't catch the PAX layout for the actual the actual matches. But Skybound kind of stepping up. Now here we have 8-Bit Legit to our left, and then none other than what?
Gigabash.
So that right there is the designer. What was his name again?
Shern. I can't. I know I'm butchering the name, but I believe it was Shern, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and folks, you can see the merch there.
Which again, it is beautiful. Guy was great. I was really fangirling. I think he was embarrassed / impressed. Oh, there he is.
There's the fangirl right there.
Oh, yeah. I really wish they had those jackets.
Yeah, the jackets were not for sale. I think we even talked about that later that evening, as you can see.
Yes, you guys were able to go out to dinner with him.
The opportunity to share a meal with him.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, no, the other gentlemen there at the table both worked for Epic Games. Really nice individuals. Here we're going to go back to 8-Bit Legit. Like I said, I was trying to talk a little bit more about this.
These guys were really nice.
It was the fact that they were bringing back those, Nintendo aesthetic cartridges was pretty sweet. Limited run is limited run.
Nice. And here's your concert you've been dying to see for the last 2 years.
Yeah, Thursday night, myself and Duff made it over. This is 8-Bit Brigade. They opened up their show with DuckTales and then segued into a full speed run of Mega Man 2. I'm gonna tell you, it's just a nice change of pace. Being able to kind of go up there, sit down, relax a little bit. 20 years ago, I would have been standing up right up there in the front, making my presence known.
Well, James, you get to do that with the Baby Metal concert coming up.
We do, in fact, have Baby Metal coming up, which is pretty exciting. But following the concert on Friday, the entire band was down. They had a booth in the lobby, so I was able to get a Zelda vinyl.
Really?
In which case, the entire band had autographed that vinyl.
I'd love to see a picture of that.
So that is one of my new collector's pieces. Again, just sitting there, I'm gonna tell you, it makes me feel like I suck, because watching this dude sit here and rock this out and making it look so easy. Mega Man is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. And
how long did it take him to beat it?
I want to say that we were there for maybe 36, 37 minutes for him to plow through Mega Man 2 start to finish. DuckTales, he did in under 20. Jesus. It was mind-boggling. Final Fantasy 16. Now, these are some stills you had taken during the panel, and from what I'm seeing on that, it just does show the PS5 logo. So that leads me to believe June we're gonna get it for PlayStation 5.
June 23rd, I believe it comes out.
Not sure if you're gonna see that day and date with the PC.
No, they said it's going to be first on the PlayStation, and I think PC might be a little bit later. But again, it does show the whole transformation, which is still amazing. They did a beautiful job. It's not 100%, but I still can't wait for it.
It's Final Fantasy.
And he wouldn't let go of that damn dog. He loved the dog.
Hey, they came, they gave us, a good presentation. How can you complain? You can pet the Torgal.
Yes, Torgal. At one point, he actually shows us how to pet it, but unfortunately, he accidentally slashes the dog with his sword.
Oh, nice.
Which misses, but you can pet it, give it treats, because that's what everyone wants.
I really... That was the one panel I missed that I wish I hadn't. You were kind enough to get me one of the Final Fantasy 16 bags, which was really awesome.
I was lucky enough that I did have a guy be like, hey, my friend wasn't make it. Could I please get one more? He told me straight out, sorry, sir, one per customer, but could you put your bag behind you? It's like, okay. "Oh, you didn't get a bag. Here you go." He was really kind. And then I found another bag that someone left behind on the chairs.
Hey, I appreciate you.
I know you do.
This right here, it's tough when you see multi-games kind of all packed on top of each other.
Yes. Wormwood, Jesus. They always have a big presence and so expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that quality of work isn't worth it.
The quality
really
of work
is.
is fantastic. The controversy that they're going through right now is not so much so.
Oh, you mean the Kickstarter?
No, there's a lot of stuff with that worm life, and I don't know. I definitely don't agree nor support any of the stuff that they have going on internally. I'm hoping that they can address their issues and, make some changes and kind of come out on top of that, although I'm not 100% confident that's exactly what we're going to see. But all that being said, their quality is unreal. Toge Productions here, I feel like a fool because a friend of the compound, Winston, had told us that his buddy from Malaysia was coming with Toge, and I tried the entire con to find Toge, only to realize that I couldn't find Toge, but I got them on camera. So go figure.
I will say one thing. I feel like a lot of these indie games are really going for that 8-bit style, which is really nice.
Well, Retro's making a huge comeback. Now, this is the Init Creates.
Which, again, this is the censored game we cannot discuss on YouTube. But maybe we could do it on Patreon. But Gal Guardians, I tried the demo to that. It was really nice. It had the feeling of Castlevania, but with anime girls, which can't complain about that. And now we're actually going to Just Shapes and Beats, which, again, is a really fun party game. I recommend, if you guys just love remix songs, you guys want to play some games, I strongly recommend that. I believe it is available for the Switch.
I did look that up on Steam, but I'm not 100% certain. Now, you have all of your garments here.
Nerds love their shirts. It's actually pretty good. They're only like $15.
You can't complain. You can't complain. Now we're taking a look here at Demon School. I popped back here, I think, once or twice throughout. So Demon School is a new style tactics RPG where motion equals action. Defeat big weirdos in between the human and demon worlds as Faye and her misfit companions while navigating university life and on a mysterious island. Just the aesthetic of it was kind of fantastic, and it was definitely one that I hadn't seen before. That is a game of show for me. World of Horror scene here. Now, World of Horror...
This was trippy. This was scary trippy.
So, last year, World of Horror had a 4-hour queue line, and it was behind closed doors. In this particular... Now they've actually opened it up, given you a full-size booth. The tagline is experience the quiet terror of this 1-bit love letter to Junji Ito and H.P. Lovecraft. Navigate a hellish rogue-lite reality with turn-based combat and unforgiving choices. Experiment with your deck of event cards to discover new forms of cosmic horror. In every playthrough, the inevitable awaits.
Now, this was something that James honestly thought this was a statue, but it turns out it was actually a PC, which it took me a second to realize that.
No, this
thing
is
beautiful.
This thing was sick. Like, just look at the level of detail and just, it's amazing.
Let me know when you come out with a Godzilla one.
Like that one was next level, and I did really fall for that. I thought that was actually a statue. It wasn't until much later on I realized that after you pointing it out, it was in fact a PC.
You really can't tell until you actually see the fans, where it's just like, oh wait, what?
No, that was I don't even know if that thing was for sale. I wouldn't have had the heart to ask, because then I would have been trying to mortgage a kidney.
James, that would have been about
so I could have turned around and got something. But again, just trying to take it all in here and
there's
bring
Dread
you...
XP, which again, strongly recommend checking them out.
Well, they have multiple titles. I mean, that's not only Sucker for Love. So, I mean, Dread XP does have multiple options for you to check out. It just so happens that Sucker for Love
is
the one that pulled you in.
It did. But let's talk about something that you're a little angry about, which is fine. Let's talk about Nintendo.
I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed that they came in with an arcade-focused setup and left Tears of the Kingdom at home.
I know. I saw, especially where they did advertise it in front of PAX.
To me, it was salt in the wound walking in and seeing Link right out the gate. But, as you can see here, we get a little bit more of a close-up here on the Pokemon Lab, where you can kind of see everything and see that, again, they're just queue line for days there.
Back to 8-bit.
Back to 8-bit legit. Like I said, I mean, I got to speak with the gentleman behind this. All of the cartridges are 100% legitimate. As you can see there, for full quiet, there's a silver cart and a green cart. The silver cart was their limited edition packaging. I did get one for the studio. We're going to be giving away a green cart as part of a giveaway on a later stream. So if you haven't checked us out on Twitch or YouTube, please do so because we get that coming up. This here is Garbage Pail Kids. Now, this was the only game that 8-Bit Legit does that has a proper distribution chain, or I would say a big distribution chain. Ironically, it was the one title that didn't seem to be selling as well as everything else. And I wonder if it wasn't for the fact that you can easily get that later in the future.
Probably.
Through those distribution chains. Now, Alone in the Dark was one of the top 2 items that I wanted to get my hands on. Anyone who knows anything about Alone in the Dark knows that Alone in the Dark goes way back. There's inspirations that come to and from your original Silent Hill, your Resident Evil, all of those, games that harken us back to a different time.
You mean the place where we have to sleep with the lights on?
Beautiful. Lovely. So, I was able, as you can see here, I tried to get the demo myself, as well as some footage prior to physically playing, which I'm bringing you through the intro a little bit here. I did get into the demo. I did really enjoy the experience. The only thing that left me wanting is you're playing through this prologue as the child. They bring you out to the intro of the game, and I really wish it had picked up there. Back to your Gigabash. These are your people.
Oh yeah.
Doing your thing with a party game, might I add. Seeing you want to call it a Smash-like. Faye, if you're familiar with the compound, is one of our collaborative partners, and here is cameraman Jim stepping out from from behind the cameras to in front of it because he was doing the God's good work at PAX East 2023, bringing Faye to the open gaming area. There is me with Gerard the completionist.
Wasn't he on G4?
I'm going to punch you. Why would you? No, I'm not.
Hey, compound.
So, again...
It was still a shocker seeing him at the PAX.
I wanted to give you the close-up of Demon School, because like I said, for me, I kind of feel like this was the big takeaway from the show, for me personally. I like the visuals. I like the aesthetic of it. Like, it's one that I think that I'll be digging into pretty deeply in the future. We did get some last-minute calls to kind of focus in on Dead Space 2 for some of our viewers.
Dead Space 2?
I'm sorry, Dead Island 2.
Thank you.
For some of our viewers, so I kind of wanted to get a little bit more, which is why we have that there. This here is the NIS booth. Now, I went back here to get you a pin. In doing that, I had to play through a series of these games.
Yes. And I waited in line for the Pokemon for you.
Like I said, that Rhapsody, which you can see here on the right, out of all of them, Rhapsody is one I actually enjoyed. Not that I didn't enjoy the other titles. just the play style and fight style weren't for me. Rhapsody, I really I got a serious kick out of. It's on my list of two reviews. Going back to, I'm not sure if this was just prior to the full-on wrestling match.
I think no, this was just for people who wanted to come in, take pictures with the belt and all that. It was still nice though. They still went all out on this one.
Well, this gentleman's living his best WrestleQuest life right here.
WrestleQuest?
You know?
And again, you can tell this booth was never empty. There was never an empty seat.
No, look at that line.
Yeah.
Look at that line, bro. It was like this the entire event.
The point where they had to make sure they had someone to cap it and literally make sure no one was standing in line. I did see someone try to cut. Everyone got really mad at him.
It was 4 days of that.
It was ridiculous. I really wish they actually brought some product with them, but they didn't bring any product with them.
Well, it's like this. If that's any testament to the future, I think that's only going to grow. Here again, guys, you can take a look at those big images, those big posters.
I want Yuri so bad.
Again, like they're all really, really sweet. But, and again, here off to the right where you're actually watching at the Intel booth, the actual game footage, like just the game as a whole just looks so good. And, I'm not going to lie, even though I had my experience that I did, like just being able to get in there, go through the classic motions, like it was a very, very welcoming aesthetic as far as I'm concerned. I'm really looking forward to seeing the full cast of characters. It has been announced, I do believe Blanca is in this, which will make quality of life a lot easier for me.
Were you going to dress up as him again, James?
I've already done it once.
I'll paint you again.
The audience gets what the audience wants, but, it took me days to get that green makeup off.
You're welcome.
Those are just such lovely images. Hey, who's that?
It's Portuguese Mario!
She was best in show right there. That is a wife aggro as Princess Peach. Again, just wanted to share some stills. That is me with Janet Garcia from the Kinda Funny Network. Super Peach. She was very, very, very sweet. I'm going to tell you, it's very hard with the mask to identify people, but her, you could just tell.
This was very big. WizKids, Wizards of the Coast, they did a great job this year.
It's the one thing I don't think we really 100% hit on. This is me in Defiance with Link. I was very, very frustrated, but
you still had to take a picture.
I still had to take a picture with him. That is just the nature of the beast, folks.
Yes.
So. My dumbass didn't need to do that.
Why?
Because I only played the thing. I never actually changed the camera.
Oh.
So I am a giant dipshit. Okay, I'm not going to admit that publicly.
All right, well.
So, folks,
since we didn't really talk about this, I'm just going to put this out right now. I really hope WizKids does come back next year because, again, playing Onslaught was really fun, and I really hope they come back again.
Onslaught was amazing, and I'm going to tell you, they went there with the OMG weekend, which was a very special event. If you participated in any of the OMG demos, you walked away with a color copy of the mission, unreleased Death Knight miniatures, and foil cards to go with those Death Knight miniatures.
Yes, and if you also bought anything that was over $10, they also gave you a holographic Cobalt card.
That was a Cobalt Sentry.
Yes. Which, again, luckily we were able to get the Cobalts in the jacket. Coat, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's 3 Cobalts and a trench coat.
Yes, which model's beautiful. It's already all painted.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, I think WizKids really brought Dungeons and Dragons to a whole new level with Onslaught.
Oh, yes.
And just their presentation, everything they did at PAX East was just next level.
Yes.
So much so that everything that they physically brought, I think they sold out of everything but one expansion box.
Yes, they literally sold out of all their plushies, all their little miniatures, separate miniatures. Pretty much, Onslaught was even sold out. And it was actually something else. If you actually played the demo, you won, you get to roll a dice, and between 4 people, you get to walk out with an exclusive expansion that's not even released yet.
Yep, and I as of the time of this posting, I believe it still hasn't been released. I think you have about a week from the time that this video will drop before they'll be releasing that. It is the expansion Spell Sword 1.
And if you guys are curious about it, I'm pretty sure we have it on one of our platforms.
Well, it's already up on YouTube, so the same
Perfect.
channel that you're seeing this, you can take a look. That video, I believe, was published April 8th. April 8th is when that video went up, so you can go check out Onslaught, on the compound, and this is a recast of a live stream in which we actually play the OMG weekend mission exactly as played at PAX East 2023.
Which was fun.
Yes, they made some adjustments and updated it and put it up online and available for free. The mission, and they made the mission a little bit easy mode. We didn't play it easy mode. We played it as we experienced it at PAX.
That's right. I went right after James and started throwing fireballs at him.
Yeah, Chops kicked my rump. He beat me into the dirt, but we had a great time.
That's right.
Another thing I did want to give a shout out to was Deconi Audio. Tracy turned around and ran around. As you can see here, this is a congratulations to us winning. So Tracy loves all the free things. She went ahead and put our name in and ended up actually winning. This is the G1 wireless Audio-Technica headset.
Which looks lovely.
With a set of the Deconi gel earpieces. So we'll be setting this up and showing this off a little bit on future streams. So again, this will eventually make its way visibly onto YouTube, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Deconi Audio. That was awesome. Shout out to Wife Agro for putting our name in. I mean, like I said, it was pretty awesome. I mean, as an overall, I had a great time at PAX 2023. All of my issues really with those 4 days stemmed from the hotel.
Yeah.
And had nothing to do with PAX East. But, I mean...
Yeah, that hotel was expensive.
We saw some faces that we hadn't seen in a while. We got to meet some great industry people. It was awesome, chatting with Janet. It was awesome, running into Gerard. We had an interview with 6-1 Indie Podcast, and that'll be coming out as a separate video on YouTube. A great team of people. I don't really have anything negative to take away from it. I just hope that with the lack of the big 3 presence in the future, PAX is able to go back to its roots and continue to flourish.
Yes. That would have to be my high point throughout the whole thing would have to be Gigabash. Sorry, Kaiju win all the time. But my low point would have to be I really do miss the big 3 coming down. But you know what? This is actually good for the indie games, like you said. That's giving them a chance to grow, thrive, and not be overshadowed. But another thing would have to be Square Enix, please come back full force next year. That'd probably be the only thing. Other than that, compared to last year, because of COVID, the floor was packed, filled with booths. And it's just nice seeing that this big little thing in Massachusetts now back at full force. Hopefully it stays like that.
I can only see things bouncing back. It's all going to come down to how many of the bigger, the bigger properties are going to continue to move into doing things themselves.
I mean, it's not like we're going to get E3.
Folks, on that note, thank you very much for taking the time to enjoy our little tour and our thoughts on PAX East 2023.
I'm Chippity Chops.
I am JR, your producer, saying much love.
And good night.
We will catch you next time. But before we catch you, if you like what you saw, please rate, comment, subscribe. Head over to our link tree, check out our Patreon, all the things. The Compound Network is a conglomerate of multiple individual parts. All of those parts can be found on the link tree. We'll catch you next time. Love
Thanks
you,
for
folks.
watching. Ta-da!
Spirit fingers.